Welcome to this Killick Explains video on why, as a reminder for those people who are more experienced and an introduction for those people who aren't, why investing is actually as much of an art as it is a science. Now, success as an investor can be broken down arguably into sort of three phases, if you like, and this is true of a lot of careers. So if you're thinking of making it as an investor, when you start out, it's all about knowledge. You need to know stuff to pick stocks. Otherwise, it's just pinning the tail on a donkey. It's just luck, if you like. So the first phase is 100% knowledge. Then I would say it becomes more like 50-50 knowledge and judgment as you start to build up your investing awareness. Come back to this in a moment. And then you morph into a phase as an investor where it's 100% judgment. You have all the knowledge you need. That's almost a given, and it's 100% judgment. So I want to go into that in a bit more detail. So what are the key ingredients for successful stock market investing? Well, there's bottom-up micro-analysis, the building your knowledge up phase. There's top-down macro-analysis, which requires a little bit more judgment, the ability to sit back, use your brain, think about what's happening in front of you. And then there's behavioural psychology, and mastering that can take an awfully long time by yourself. Investment professionals know what it means, know the dangers. Let's talk about all three of those in sequence. So first of all, building knowledge is all about understanding markets and companies. It's all about calculating and interpreting ratios. So you need to build your knowledge up. You need to understand how markets work. A lot of that's factual. You need to understand what makes a great company. You need to strip apart balance sheets, profit and loss accounts, cash flows. You need to be comfortable doing PE ratios, comfortable doing dividend yields, and so on. There's a lot of building your knowledge and doing the homework, if you like, in the first phase, understanding what's going on. Step two is then developing judgment, and that is all about weighing up things which don't always lend themselves to pure numeric analysis. So how good is management quality? Can I do a decent SWOT analysis on this company? And that is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Some of that is about judgment. It's not all about number crunching. Can I make some sort of assessment on whether this company has a decent moat? Now, I've covered these terms elsewhere, so I'll keep it brief here. A moat is almost its ability to withstand competitive pressures, if you like, from other companies and from new companies coming into the sector. And then the what can go wrongs. It takes a bit of experience to be able to look at a set of numbers, look at a company and then say, is there anything missing? Are there any hidden nasties? And what do I think those are? And what could the potential impact be? And then the third phase, if you like, is engaging the right mindset. This is where you move away from knowledge into judgment, understanding how your brain works and being able to override some of its core instincts. Now, human brains were designed for short-term survival, and that means we basically were designed for life on the open savannah, away from the safety of a cave when anything could go wrong at any moment. But investing brains need to be focused on the long term. It's a different type of mindset, if you like. And overriding the human brain in favour of the investing brain isn't easy. Let me give you three problems that the natural human brain creates, which the long-term investor's brain needs to manage. One is the fight or flight reflex, and that is basically reasonable. Faced with a large predator, you either need to fight it or run away as fast as you can. In investing terms, unfortunately, the run away can lead people to panic sell. Just one example. Then there's seeking reassurance. As humans, we're pack animals to a degree. We're sociable. We seek reassurance. We tend to, for example, follow the crowd, even if the crowd isn't sure what it's doing and where it's going. We are tempted to use what's called hindsight bias. In other words, we want to justify decisions we took previously, including going with the crowd even when we know in our heart of hearts we shouldn't have done. And then there's overconfidence, and that comes through, and ironically it's almost the opposite of what I just said, but that comes through in survivor bias. We tend to look at people who've done well and want to copy them, forgetting they may have 4 or 5 friends who haven't done so well when it comes to stock market investing. We suffer from confirmation bias. We look for data that supports the case we're trying to convince ourselves is the right one as an investor, and so on. So in this short presentation, what I've tried to highlight is the fact that investing starts out as knowledge, morphs to knowledge and judgment, and as you get more experience, it's all about judgment. And I've tried to point out why you shouldn't, as a novice investor, expect to just go from one straight to the other. Now, to find out more about quite a few of the terms I've mentioned, moats, SWOT analysis, what can go wrongs, and so on, plus those psychological biases, please tap into my extensive library, killick.com/learn, and maybe the Investing Principles tab could be a good one. If you'd like to read more widely about how to invest in equities, or read about some of this stuff in a kind of slightly more commercial context, as it were, then do ping me an email, editor@killick.com, and I'll be happy to send out the relevant guide and or the latest issue of our quarterly magazine, Confidant.